All right, I'm going to try to weigh into this on a video and not talk about a specific incident. It's just something that I've seen over the last couple of years, and it seems to be becoming more of an issue. So you see a hit in a game, and if somebody gets hurt, the immediate assumption is that guy should be suspended for said hit. Sometimes they're a little late, sometimes they're a little questionable in terms of the angle. The ones that I've seen the NHL suspending seem to be late, from behind, so the blind side, so either from behind or from the side, and that seems to be their prime concern. And whether or not a guy leaves his feet is secondary. And I say it's secondary because I see people mention leaving their feet, and then you hear guys who've played in the NHL say it's hard not to leave your feet on certain hits. When you throw the hit, it's kind of your automatic motion. And the issue with it is this: I don't necessarily have a problem with the way the NHL's policing it or with the suspensions. That's not something that I look at and I say, oh, they've got to fix this. The problem they have is when it comes down to what's clean and what isn't. The NHL players seem to be having a problem figuring out what is and what isn't. What that means is, during a game, you have a chance to make a hit. You may not. You may say, oh, if I go for this, it's going to be a suspension, or it could be a penalty, or it could be whatever. My issue has always been something simple, which is that, for instance, you might see a 2-minute kneeing penalty during a game. So a guy goes off for 2 minutes, and okay, so he's out back on the ice either 2 minutes or less if there's a power play goal scored, and then after the game here he got suspended. Then why wasn't he kicked out of the game? I remember a couple years ago when I started up the channel, and head hits, you wouldn't get kicked out of the game for it. And I'm like, wait, you can get suspended, but not kicked out of the game for the exact same hit that the referee saw. The NHL needs to come out with some kind of standard. And not just share this with players or officials, but share it publicly. And do it like a rock'em sock'em type video, which is like, these are all clean hits, and explain why. So, for instance, McAvoy throws a hit in the game against the Leafs, and Leaf fans are not happy with that one and say, why is Hyman being suspended when McAvoy isn't? Why not have the NHL put out a little video when they suspended Hyman and say, hey, we've been getting questions about the hit by McAvoy. Here's why that one wasn't suspended. And have some kind of a standardized thing, not just for us as fans of the game, but yeah, the players could watch that too and go, okay. I am all for clean hits, and I've been accused in the past of wanting a no-hit league and being fine with no hitting being in the game. I really don't have a problem with hits. Hits are fantastic. Yeah, they can lead to injury. But that's the other part I want to touch on too. There are people who say, well, if you throw a hit, the suspension should be as long as the player's out. The problem with that is this: you may throw a really nasty hit that would get you 5-10 games, but the guy absorbs it, gets back up, and luckily doesn't get hurt. So does that mean the suspension doesn't happen? That's where it gets tricky. Is to say, well, it's going to be, until he gets back. Well, or what if, for instance, and this is a horrible way of putting it, but it's true, some players are more injury prone than others. Some players are older than others. You might hit a 19-year-old kid, he bounces right back. He's out for 2 games. You hit a guy who's in his mid-30s, he might be out for a month. So it's trickier than just saying it's until a player comes back. And I think that's why the NHL's never done it. But I look almost every game now. It seems like almost every game. When I look at the review threads, I look at the review videos, the comment section, and I see, well, why didn't you talk about this hit? Why didn't you talk about that hit? Why didn't you talk about this penalty, that penalty? Because that's all I'd be talking about. And it is happening in almost every game, it seems, where there's some kind of a hit that might lead to an injury that was probably a penalty, maybe not suspendable, but in this day and age, people are like, okay, well, if that player's hurt, you should be suspended until they get back, or there should be some kind of repercussions because that player A got hurt by player B, so player B should pay the price. It's a slippery slope, because then you're one step away from saying, well, it's a clean hit, but that guy's injured, so you're out. It's a slippery slope. And I think, and again, I've mentioned this lately, the NHL has got these all at and I've tagged it as Zapruder film speed, which is of course JFK's Zapruder film, the assassination of JFK, and you can watch these from really slow motion. Look where he moves and he changes his angle, but when you look at it at full speed, it may look completely different. And I think sometimes with these hits, we're going through every single frame and trying to go, we know what he was thinking in this frame, and we could be completely wrong. And of course, 9 out of 10 players are going to be like, I didn't mean to throw that hit that badly, or yeah, my angle changed because, and he may give some other reason for it. So I think the NHL has a lot of work to do with this, because now we've expanded to 32 teams in the NHL, and it's going to be a whole new fan base of people saying, wait, what's legal, what's not legal? Because, yeah, there's still people in Vegas. We're going to be in Vegas in 2 weeks. I guarantee people in Vegas are going to be saying, so there was a hit I saw the other night. Why was that legal? And yet that one that got suspended the other week wasn't. And I'm going to have to answer with something silly like, well, it was a half a second sooner. Or, well, he didn't quite hit him at the right angle for it to be a suspension. It seems kind of silly to me, but I'd be interested to know what you guys think about the state of hitting in the game. And again, I've pointed this out. William Carrier throws a million hits a game. No talk of suspending him. No problem with him. So what is he doing right that the other guys aren't? Or does he throw dirty hits and nobody talks about it? Is that a thing? So I'd be interested to know what you guys think about the state of this, the state of the game, how confusing this is, how frustrating this might be, and what kind of system you want to see implemented by the NHL, whereby we as fans will understand not just why a suspension takes place, but why the ones that they don't suspend, they leave them alone. I honestly think it wouldn't take that long for them to throw the videos together and tell us there was this hit the other night we didn't suspend and here's why. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happen upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.